You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room. We talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. This is episode number 110. We're discussing Oscars 2018, Infinity War, and Solo. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Room. It is a pleasure to have you back here to discuss comic books, movies, award shows. But before we get into really all of that talk, and do our comics and collecting for the week, we have a very special announcement. We have a new member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. We'd like to welcome Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest podcast in the galaxy. Welcome to Tim. Great name, I have to say. To the network. He has an absolutely incredible podcast. Make sure you go check him out. You can find him on the StarWarsCommonwealth.com website, just under the podcast network. I'm so ecstatic to have him aboard again, bringing a new dynamic to the Star Wars Commonwealth. That fills us up, I think, to 9 or 10 shows.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's getting up there. There's a lot there for everyone. So go check them out. Subscribe to my iTunes. You can find them on Twitter as well. Just go to the StarWarsCommonwealth.com website and you can find all of the links there. So Tim, welcome to the Commonwealth.
Yeah, welcome, Tim. You can explain to me what a parsec is.
Come on. You're on a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, but what's the official time measurement of a parsec?
Then we're not going to get into that because it doesn't make a whole ton of sense. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. Tim, it's open to you.
Welcome aboard, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to see the Commonwealth growing here. It's become a big passion of mine to see and watch this thing grow and thrive. And being a part of it is I'm so excited about it every single day.
We're like Netflix right now.
Yeah.
All this original content just going on.
Oh,
Exactly.
we're way better. We're way better.
Another thing I want to do while we're here talking about the Star Wars Commonwealth, I want to also congratulate Neil Lowry. He is a big supporter of all of our podcasts on Twitter. Very positive guy out there, kind of out there. Strong force for positivity in the fan community. He became a Knight of the Commonwealth this past week. That was announced over on Talk Star Wars. So Neil, welcome to the Commonwealth officially.
Nice.
Welcome along, man.
Yeah, so
congratulations.
It's been a big week in Star Wars Commonwealth. Big couple months, actually, in the Star Wars Commonwealth. So make sure you guys head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com. Check out all the shows there. Everything's being published over there right now, so there's a lot of Star Wars going on there. So make sure to go over there and check it all out. But now that we're done with all of that little bit of intro, I think it's time to talk about our week in nerd. How was collecting, how was comics for you guys this past week?
Well, comics, I didn't make it to the shop this week. I know. Throw your hate mail at me. I've been collecting some movies, some steelbooks, just picked them up. Just a quick plug here. I'm sorry I don't want to hijack this, but if you're into collecting movies and that sort of thing, make sure you check out our channel on YouTube. I've been posting some updating video collecting videos. I got to think of a better movie collecting update videos. There we go. I always say video collecting videos. And it just sounds redundant. Yeah. So make sure you check those out. Thank you for all the fans that have been watching it and promoting it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. And let me know in the comments or anything. Give me a shout out. Let me know what you're enjoying about them or if there's anything I can do better. So I'm all about learning. So check that out.
Awesome. Yeah. Just search Nerd Room Podcast on YouTube.
And spoiler alert, Sunjay picked up a sweet steelbook, Thor Ragnarok. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
Sure we'll see it on the next episode.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Just walked into it with maybe or maybe not my digital code. We don't discuss those type of things here.
Exactly, right? It's under the table.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm passing it to Tim under the table as we speak.
It's a beautiful steelbook, though.
Yeah, I'm really actually impressed with it. The last couple of Marvel steelbooks have been hit or miss. I've got them all. I love them all, but this one I really love. This one, they really brought it, and Black Panther has really brought it, so I'm excited to see that one in person.
Yeah, it's going to be a good looking one. Yeah, I can't wait to rewatch Thor Ragnarok, my number one movie from 2017. My wife hasn't seen it yet either, so Yeah,
Nice.
I'm excited to pop that in. Maybe even a little later tonight. We'll see. We'll see how things go today.
Yeah, it's the best comedy of 2017.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
best films. My favorite. Troy, how was comics? I know you got a fat stack, man.
Crazy, man. Shout out to Alpha Comics. I picked up I can't even begin to count the number of comics
You're
I picked
paying
up
his heating
there.
bills, man.
Man, I just spun that wheel and just watched it land on a high number. So, but I got some comics, which is cool. I got to catch up on Vader. So, unfortunately, of all the comics, I didn't get to read them all, but I did do issue 10, 11, and 12.
Oh.
Darth Vader. I'm all caught up now, and it feels good, man. It's a great comic. I'm not going to spoil anything. Like Tim and I mentioned already, I had one little nitpick, but other than that, it was is a great run, and I can't wait to see how far this comic's going to go before it even ties with Lords of the Sith. As well, I picked up some Marvel Legends. I got a nice courtesy call from Tim over here. He got my back on the Infinity War line dropped at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Is all over, and as well EB Games here in Canada. So right away, I got off work, hit up Toys R Us, got my hands on Cap, or the Nomad Cap, if you want to call it that, which is pretty cool. I really like that figure. The face sculpt is wicked. This is the best looking Chris Evans we've seen. He's a good looking dude, but this is the best looking Chris Evans toy that we've gotten. And then I made my way to EB Games, and I got the Iron Spider, which is sweet. I love this figure a lot. I actually like it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. It's the best look we've had at the costume, which is sweet, highly articulated, of course. And outside of the Infinity War line, I picked up the, I guess you could say, the complete Build-A-Figure Walmart exclusive version of Thanos.
The Jim Starlin looking Thanos.
Nice.
Exactly. And he's okay. I knew I was never going to be able to get the whole original set that you got, and I'm not going to get the whole Infinity War line to build the MCU version of Thanos. I gotta have a Thanos figure, so I thought I'd pick this guy up. He's a peg warmer. This guy's gonna be sitting around
so many
a very long time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
definitely.
so.
It's good looking, very like I said, very Jim Starlin. Like yellow, blue, like very much out of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, more or less. But it's a good looking figure. It's kind of a repaint of the one that built a figure from 2015 or so, 2016. So it's a Thanos figure, right?
Exactly, and he's sitting right now in my corner of villains. So I got him with my Build-A-Figure Sandman and the Vulture. I got Vulture there and Juggernaut. So I got a nice little villain rack going on right now.
I remember as a kid going into comic shops trying to pick up like a big baddie because I had Galactus, I had Apocalypse, I had Magneto. I was like, I really want to get a Thanos. And for the life of me, growing up, I could never find a Thanos figure because they were just not that popular. Imagine being a kid now, like 8 to 10, where you can get like literally any figure in comics history. Pretty much. It's crazy. It's an amazing time to be an adult collector, and I imagine to be a child collecting, because I remember growing up and I could never find a Thanos figure, and I like pined for it. It was like the one that got away.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because as a kid, the easiest villain I could find, apart from Venom, and he's like an anti-hero, was Magneto. I had a Magneto in like this weird car. Like Magneto doesn't have a car. Yeah, it is weird, right? But like if you flash forward now, like good luck finding a Magneto
that's true.
figure, right? But you can find a Thanos and a Juggernaut and all that stuff.
SH Figure Arts just did a Magneto. They did a run there, but he's like, I think in the white suit.
Oh, okay, from the Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah. So that's probably the last Magneto I've seen. They were about due for one, right? Because we never got an X-Men wave of anything.
No,
right?
just got Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine. You got that Cyclops, I think, and
so hard to find.
Yeah, a few others than that. But yeah, it's been same thing, man. This week in Nerd for me was Infinity War. I walked in Toys R Us. I'd seen some grumblings on Twitter that things were starting to drop, and there's an announcement I think on my Instagram feed or something. It was like go to Walmart.com for Infinity War figures, and I was like, who the hell? Like, it just blows my mind how Instagram and all that reads what you're typing into your phone.
They're
creepy.
So it's like it was sponsorship. This is definitely for me. So my daughter and I got in the car. My wife was out. We went just on a bit of a hunt together. We get in there and kind of run around, and big huge thing with everything. There's 2 or 3 boxes or waves of the not waves of the first wave, 2 or 3 case packs of the Infinity War stuff. So I saw everything there.
Nice.
And I just grabbed the Cap and the Proxima Midnight for now. I really want the Thanos Build-A-Figure, but as we said when we discussed this a couple weeks ago with the actual wave itself, it's 3 figures from Infinity War. 4 actually. 3 are only part of the Build-A-Figure, and then 3 comics. So there's like Songbird, King Cobra, and someone else that I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to pay $30 a piece to get an arm, a leg, and whatever. Mm-hmm. So it is kind of frustrating because even the Iron Man from Infinity War doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece.
What?
Yeah. So you have to
bogus.
pay $30 for the figure, And Iron Man's a big seller. It's double packed in the first wave, so they're gonna linger on the shelves. But there's not even that incentive to buy it. Like, I'm gonna get it, but I would have bought it there if it had a Build-A-Figure piece in it. So it's super frustrating to see them doing stuff like this, and I just still don't get why Hasbro is doing these waves where it's split comic and movie. It's not like, and I've said this numerous times, it's not like they have this whole warehouse full of King Cobras that they need to pawn off. Like, they've actively made that figure. And so if they think it's going to sell, then why not just put it in a comic book wave and do big MCU waves? Like, to me, that's got to be their biggest seller. Like, when we look back at Civil War, they did a wave. It was the same thing. It was like Cap, Iron Man, and someone else. And then 3 comic book figures. And then eventually, they re-released that same wave with the Scarlet Witch, the Bucky, and the Falcon Walmart exclusives with the Build-A-Figure pieces in. So I ended up, because I wanted the Build-A-Figure Ant-Man from that wave, so I ended up with 3 figures that I didn't want, but I wanted the Build-A-Figure, so I did that. And then later on, they re-release all these figures. So I'm hoping they do a similar thing with the second wave, because again, it's a comic book movie split for, I think it's the Build-A-Figure is a Black Dwarf. So he's one of Thanos' children, the really big dude.
Right, okay.
So it's going to be tough because they're big MCU Build-A-Figures, but I'm going to have to go on to eBay or something like that and buy the pieces separately, hopefully at somewhat of a discount, because I just can't justify $90 for the 3 pieces of Thanos. Like, I really want the Thanos, but it's so hard to justify that. So it's a bit frustrating on that end, but I'm happy to see the Infinity War stuff hitting shelves, because we also saw the Scarlet Witch and Vision 2-pack.
Right.
Toys R Us exclusive. It was for $59.99 Canadian, which isn't too bad. I'm waiting for that to drop down to about $39 or so.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit more appropriate price for 2 figures. And then the big gauntlet.
That is huge.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Infinity Gauntlet
itself. The big Hasbro.
The Legends.
Yeah,
Legends. Right?
Legends. Yeah, the same way we're getting the Black Panther mask. We got the Iron Man mask. The big shield.
Thor hammer.
Yeah, the Thor hammer. So that's something I also want to get, but I think it was priced at $159 or $129. It's a bit steep right now.
Yeah.
I think that will go down. That's a bit out of the price range of a lot of collectors, I think, that are doing that. If you want something that's super highly detailed, you go to like a prop replica or something like that and pay the even bigger money. But for this, I think it's the moving one too. You slip
Does it actually move?
Yeah, and the fingers move. You can give people a finger with the gauntlet.
Well, if you're in the market for those Build-A-Figure pieces, I've seen them at the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo before. So make sure you check around that. Well, I'm sure we'll be posting videos from there. But because I saw the Onslaught, they had the Build-A-Figure of Onslaught, but they only had like a couple of them, and I was like, shit, I really want that. I haven't picked it up yet, but that's why I'm going to be on the lookout this year.
Yeah, I seen it. I think it was, I don't know if it was Brian's Toys or where it was. I've seen it. Dorkside Toys. They do sell the full Build-A-Figure, but it's usually about $70 or so.
Oh, so you're saving a little bit.
So you're saving a little, yeah.
And you don't, but then you don't get the other 2 figures or the other 3 figures.
Yeah, I'd still have to buy the Iron Spider and the Iron Man, so you're saving $20-$30 on the Build-A-Figure, not buying. And then I don't have like this whole backlog of figures that I'm never gonna display or anything, right? So it feels like less of a waste to me that I have a whole bin here of figures that, I've pulled out all the ones, the comic book ones I like, but I just have a whole stack like Red Guardian and all these like random like what was it? There's not Iceman, but there's like, I can't remember.
I've seen some of them. There's like that one fire guy too.
Yeah,
that came
I
with that
can't
one
remember
cat wave. There's some throwaways, but it seems like what they're doing too. Especially you mentioned Cobra.
Yeah,
something Cobra. Like his body mold is the exact same, pretty much as Green Goblin. So I feel like they just basically are just reusing some of the parts that they can't really get rid of, and they're like, well, we'll just repackage it again.
Yeah,
because they did the same.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Because I feel like there's another character that just came out. He has Blade's same armor chest piece. I called it out on Twitter. It's the exact same chest piece. But he's going to be part of a Build-A-Figure wave. So it's just like they're just reusing these bits. Same with Black Widow. Her new face is exactly the same, all new, all different Mary Jane face. Exact same.
That's definitely what it is. Because I'm going on here about we don't need these figures. But all they've done is made new heads.
Exactly.
And popped on body molds they already have. So it's a cheap way to get other figures out to a general population with just doing a head sculpt or head mold.
Right. Instead of making a whole new buck, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're cheaping out. So they can make a figure instead of doing a whole new buck. They've made a figure for like $4 instead of $20.
Exactly.
Right? So they're making a huge profit off of selling these King Cobras and Songbirds and all that.
Green Goblin legs.
Well, there you go.
Is it
there it is.
Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No, thank goodness. No, that's.
Do you have that figure?
Oh, no way.
They
I'm
never
gonna get
made
you the
it.
Hot
Never
Toys
touch
of
it.
that.
I don't think they
Please
ever
don't.
made it.
It's hot trash.
And the only comic books here that I will call it is Darth Vader number 12. It's great. There's a small piece in there that we talked about before the podcast that we have a little bit of a gripe with, but it's a really good book. It fits into this arc just perfectly.
Yes.
And the other one I want to shout out here is Infinity Countdown Prime. Now this was from I think 2 weeks ago when I was away. And it's kind of paralleling with Infinity War. So it's all about Infinity Stones. But the cool thing about it, it's a great story, actually, the build into it. This is just a setup. Introduces or reintroduces some cool characters from previous iterations of Marvel Comics that we haven't seen for quite some time. But in the back, there's about an 8-page almost reference guide to the Infinity Stones, which walks you through their presence in the MCU 616 Marvel comic, not the MCU, the 616 universe in the comics. And it walks you through where they've been. So it goes all the way back to Warlock and Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Watch stuff with Warlock again, into the Illuminati, so it walks you right through the history of the Infinity Stones in about 8 pages.
Does the Hood make an appearance in there? I think
The Hood does,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, because he got his hands on that for a minute.
Yeah, it
Cool.
does in that Kang story and all that
Nice.
from recent, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it goes through everything here, and then it sets the stage for this new event that's coming out. So they're really going back and revisiting a lot of the elements that I really love about kind of the late 2000s or the 2000, the naughties or whatever you want to call them, with characters like Warlock and the Guardians, Thanos. It brings back Super Skrull, which is
Nice.
pretty cool. So there's a lot of really great characters in there that I'm super excited to read about, and we got Wolverine's back and everything. So it's a great book. I think you could probably, based off of the back and that, you could probably jump into this if you have some familiarity with previous iterations of Adam Warlock and all that, and not have to worry too much about getting into the books that precede this and just kind of run along with this event. I'm going to say that now. That's maybe just a slight word of caution that you may be a bit confused, but I think for the Infinity Stones, it's a great book to get into because I think they've even changed all the colors to match the MCU colors.
No
There's
way.
a line in it that the colors have changed and we don't know why.
Oh.
But I think it's probably just so that everyone understands, blue is the Space Stone,
Right.
which is in the comic books and in the MCU. So
Well, it
it's-
makes sense because in case of the movie audience decides to pick up a comic,
That's
they
exactly
want
where
it,
they're
going with this,
Yeah,
right?
that
Yeah.
makes sense. I wonder why they changed it in the first place, though. Like, why did they differentiate it from comics?
I don't know. Part of me likes to think that they came up with some of these ideas and were like, oh, we're just going to mold this. They had some thread,
Right.
but then they've kind of molded things into infinite. Like, I don't know if the ether, well, I guess maybe it was because at the end of Thor the Dark World, they do get into that. But I don't know if like the Scepter and the Tesseract were supposed to be Infinity Stones at
Yes.
the beginning.
Right.
And they've just kind of evolved and they're like, oh,
Retconned
this
it.
kind of works. So
Yeah.
we're going to do
Yeah.
this. Because like the Scepter was blue too, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the Mind Stone that it is now. So things have changed a little.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they've evolved the story and kind of taken advantage of other MacGuffins that they were using and said, oh, if you break this apart, it's the Space Stones inside of it. It all makes sense. So, because the Tesseract's a different thing in the comic books, right? It's
Yeah.
not actually an
a
Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
So,
Or a gem.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to jump into a listener question. Our dude, Grabs Granite, is back at it again. His subject here that he wants to talk to us this week about is reoccurring greatness. So he says, hello, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay. We all have that movie, show, book, or song, the one we can play on repeat. The one that never seems to get old. For me, it has to be the Thrawn trilogy. I can't agree with you more here. I can't recall when I first read it, but I do know that it brought Star Wars to life for me. It captured my imagination like nothing before or since in many respects, and I still read the trilogy once a year despite it not being canon anymore. My question for you is, what comic storylines, movies, or books do this for you? For comics, what story arcs have you read multiple times, and each time it rekindles that flame of fanhood? I'd also like to send a huge thanks for the three of you for an invitation to keep the questions coming. They most certainly will be. The Nerd Room Squatter Grabs.
Yeah, we're gonna have to charge this guy rent.
Squatting at our invitation. So,
Yeah.
First of all, Grabs, thank you very much for continuing to bring these questions. This is probably becoming quickly my favorite part of discussing because it brings a whole new element to the table, right? And it's another fantastic question. I'm going to throw this one to you to start here.
All
Sanjay.
right. Well, I'll start with movies because that's kind of my jam lately.
Yeah.
The one, the one movie that I've seen more than any other movie is Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I put that on whenever, just, put it on, just something to do. I've probably seen that movie over 10 times in the last couple of years. I just love that movie. Everything about it, General Zod, Superman. Just there's so much good in that movie. I love it. And so that would probably be the movie. And the comic book for me would be Justice League War.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the introduction of the Justice League from the New 52, issues 1 to 6. If you want to know more about the Justice League, just pick that up. Every issue has a center on a different character, so you get a chance to really learn about Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Flash, Batman, Green Lantern, Cyborg. It's amazing. Check that out, and that's the one I read that yearly as well. So that's it for me. What a song? If I had to pick a song quickly, anything by Meatloaf or Bruce Springsteen. Just love those
You're
two.
so old. But not.
I'm 20 years old.
You're your youngest one on this table.
I will, Troy, give us a movie, a comic, and a song.
The song. It's been a while with songs. But, starting with movies, man, it's a toss-up. It's always going to be episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That was my movie. 2005, I saw this, and I was just blown away. And even to this day, I know people have their gripes with the prequels, but I'll always go back to this movie. I went back to it when I was disappointed with The Last Jedi. I went right back to this movie, and I popped it in. People would be like, what? Really? You did that? Yeah, I did it, because I love that movie. And it got me back into my Star Wars mode. And I love this film. I'll always go back to it. And as of late, it's been Spider-Man Homecoming. I love this film. Me and my daughter watch this film all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie already since I've owned it on the Steelbook, thanks to Sunjay over here. Mr.
Got your back?
Mr. Movie Rentals.
Mr. Movie Rentals.
Speaking of which, have you seen Dunkirk yet?
No, it's still buried under.
Oh, okay.
I'll get there though. Oscar winner.
Late fees.
Right. Yeah.
So, and for comic books, I'll always go back to JMS's run on Amazing Spider-Man. Back in Black. This takes place right after the heels of Civil War, after Spider-Man's gone through some stuff and revealed to the world that he is Peter Parker, and he's now on the run. And he's back in the black suit, which is awesome because everybody has their idea of Spider-Man. Everybody knows he has great power, great responsibility. He's always the good guy by the books. But in this run, he's doing things his way and the bad way. He's willing to kill. He doesn't, but he's going to go that route. He takes on Kingpin in a prison cell, and that panel art there is just unreal what they do in that book. So I'll go back to that comic book once a year easily. I think it's maybe 5 issues, and my wife or girlfriend at the time got me this book. This is one of my first books I got board and bagged, and I was just fascinated with the way these things look, how clean they can look. So I always go back to Back in Black. And for music, I don't know if I have a song, man, but I'm an Usher dude. I always like Usher. Yeah, from,
Let It Burn.
Yeah. That's not my song, but I mean, it's cool. I like OMG and all that kind of stuff. But it'd take me a while to think of some music because everybody has so many songs going through their heads, right?
Yeah.
But so Revenge of the Sith, Spider-Man Homecoming, and for the comics, it's Spider-Man Back in Black for sure.
Nice.
I like in Revenge of the Sith when Ben Kenobi, I forget what's the actor's name. Ewan McGregor, yes, from Moulin Rouge. That's where I know him from. When he goes "You were the chosen one."
Yeah,
that's such a great line.
You're the chosen one, Anakin.
Yeah,
he's great.
That's my favorite part of the movie. I love
We're
that.
supposed to destroy the Sith and not join them.
Yeah,
love it. Ewan's great. It's gonna be in the new Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Trailer just debuted.
And hopefully he gets his own movie soon. Obi-Wan Kenobi, bring him back.
Come on, bring him back.
Yeah.
So for me on this end, I I'm trying to think. I read this the other day, and I'm thinking to myself, movies I always go back to is Back to the Future. I go back to these once or twice a year. Usually if my dad's kicking around, if he comes visits or I go there, we'll pop them out and just watch them. We don't really have to say anything. And every so often too, we'll go back and forth with just Back to the Future trivia over text.
Nice.
And it's one of those movies that I connect with my father with. And realistically, he's the one that kind of brought me into this world. He's not a nerd by any sense of the word. But he's the one that ushered me into a lot of things like Back to the Future. He took me to see Jurassic Park, Planet of the Apes. He introduced me to. So I have a huge connection, particularly to Back to the Future. That's kind of like our movie. So I always go back to that. And then, of course, Star Wars. And more recently, Empire was always a movie I would go back to 2-3 times a year. More so, it's been Force Awakens and Rogue One for me. As of late.
So good.
If I'm kind of puttering around in the nerd room here or doing something in the basement, I always have to have something play in the background. And as of the last, I'd say, year, it's been Rogue One, Force Awakens, and Civil War.
Oh yeah.
that go on to that are on my laptop, preloaded. I just push play. I don't have to listen. I don't even have to turn and watch them. I know exactly what's happening. So it's probably those movies right now. And as far as comic books, I go back to Civil War a lot. I really like that run. I really like Secret Invasion as well.
Yeah, you like Secret Invasion a lot.
Yeah, that storyline. That's why I'm really pulling for it for like a phase 4 or some continuum beyond the MCU. And even comic books. I probably read the Darth Vader books 3-4 times, and we're only at issue 12. So it's that good. Like,
Nice.
like they are awesome. And as far as music goes, I don't listen to a ton of music anymore. To be honest with you, I listen to the radio once in a while, but it's mostly podcasts and that.
Yeah.
So it's all Commonwealth podcasts. But I had to say music. Like if I'm gonna turn something on, it's either something Coldplay or the Force Awakens and Last Jedi
Nice.
soundtracks.
Yeah.
They're the ones, like, I have 2 CDs in my car. Like I only own 2 CDs that I functionally use, and one is the Force Awakens score, and one is the Last Jedi.
Oh, that Rey
nice.
theme, right?
Oh,
The minute
I
they hit
love
you with
that.
that theme,
I love that.
It's incredible.
And that's one of my favorite parts in the Force Awakens
Which
too.
is sliding down that
Yes.
dune. I'm just blown away. All of that right there is just glorious, man.
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah, that's
Ray. Ray. Bum bum.
So yeah, there's a ton of stuff, and you know what grabs like Thrawn as well. I'd have to say that's probably the book I've read the most in the Star Wars universe, at least, and maybe even in general. That Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah.
Also, Hindsight. Go check that out by Mark and our boys over at TSW.
Yeah, because you and Grabs both love the Thrawn, Timothy Zahn original.
Yes.
Like the Legends.
Yeah.
And you also like the current one.
Yeah, I quite like Thrawn. Like I like his iterations. Some people have some issues with him because he's a little different from what he was in Legends.
Oh, okay.
But I like what they've done with him, and we just got the season finale of
Our
Rebels.
conclusion for now.
Yeah, so we won't gonna spoil anything.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about this, actually, Troy and I. We're gonna throw something out next Tuesday because it hasn't aired here in Canada, and we don't want to spoil it for anyone, and we technically haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
It's incredible, by the way. It's a very fitting ending for Dave Filoni and the crew, but that is a tangent. That is something we will get to a little later on this weekend. We'll record something, toss something out next Tuesday after it finally airs here in Canada, because there's a lot to talk about. We haven't quite caught up on everything, so there's some big plot elements that we have to discuss, particularly when it comes to some farewells and all this. So we will get into all of it, but we're going to remain spoiler free for now, and definitely have a more focused episode on that coming out next Tuesday. So watch out for that.
And I'll throw in quickly for a book, because I forgot to mention, for a novel, I'm always going to throw in Paul S. Kemp's Lords of the Sith.
Oh.
Love that book. If you want to change from the Thrawn series, you gotta read this book. It takes place about 4 or 5 years after Episode 3, and this is, even still right now, I think this is the best Vader we get. It's an incredible book.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lost Stars too.
Love that book.
I've read that 3 times.
It's tough. Those are like my top 3. It's like Lost Stars, Lords of the Sith, and Claudia Gray's Bloodlines.
Oh, that's
love
a good one
that.
too. Claudia
Love that
Gray,
book.
she
needs to write a movie.
She's a genius. Absolute genius. Love her.
Well,
Anyways.
isn't 50 Shades of Grey based on her life story?
No.
Claudia Gray is. You do not touch or taint the name of Claudia Gray.
Yeah,
She's
it's like Dave
saint.
Filoni, and then you have Claudia Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, they're incredible.
Well, I can expect the hate mail to come in now. Again.
Fire it his way at Sunjay on Twitter.
She looks a couple of my Twitters, man. So don't do this. Don't wreck this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just edit that part out, right?
All right, Grabs. That was another fantastic question. Reminiscing about things that now I have to go. Oh, man, I could spend the whole rest of the night going through Civil War. Maybe watch Back to the Future this weekend. Really looking forward to it. But thanks again. Looking forward to what you have on tap for us next.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep the questions coming. Keep them coming on Twitter as well. I appreciate the questions on my YouTube as well. So, Grabs Granite, #1 fan.
Yeah, he's there. He's our dude. He's our dude.
That's our dude.
Yeah,
Man.
we gotta take care of him.
Thanks.
You know,
Always appreciate your questions, man.
yeah, let me know. Shoot me your address and I'll send you a prize.
Yeah, he's committed to it. So
Yeah, I said it on air, so I'll give you a prize. I know what it is, but I'll send it to you.
I don't. We'll see. You still gotta send that tweet, or we still gotta send that 500 likes and retweet tweet. So we'll do that.
Man, it takes me a while to grow that stash, so I need to know this thing in advance.
I don't know. I think you could just pencil it on, you know?
Just,
Or your wife's like eyeliner or something, and then you got it.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. Speaking of which, I'm going to transition into that into Black Panther somehow. I don't know. Here we go. Box office update for Black Panther. This has become a reoccurring segment here because how incredible this movie is doing at the box office. Now, I've only seen it once, so I'm not contributing in a big way, but somebody is. Because in its third weekend, it remains number one at the box office, and it pulls in $66 million.
That's insane.
In its third weekend. That is more than The Incredible Hulk in its opening weekend did. Whole opening weekend, first weekend, Captain America, Ant-Man, and Thor. It tops all of those in its third weekend of release.
Wow.
And it now has over $500 million domestically. So as this recording is $501 million, which is the third fastest film in history to do that. It is only behind The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. It just missed The Last Jedi by 1 day.
Wow.
So it took 17 days to hit over $500 million domestically. And it's opening in China this weekend.
Oh, that's incredible. So Wrinkle in Time, that comes out this week, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's going to get crushed.
It's gonna.
That is in my... I have that.
I don't know. I think
don't know.
Wrinkle in Time
It's
will be
got
number one.
It's got shaky reviews.
Really?
It's
It's
a bit...
began to push though. The Oscars
Yeah.
gave it a little bit of a push, but the Oscar also gave Black Panther.
Yeah, I
too.
saw that. That
Yeah.
was love. Yeah. I think Wrinkle in Time will probably open to over 100 mil.
I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to be... Because to me, there always seems to be this film that you look at, you're like, yeah, it's Disney. It's a remake of a beloved book. It's got all these great actresses and actors in it. And it just bombs.
Yeah.
This, to me, has a bit of a stench of...
BFG.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Spielberg,
That's true.
great story,
Yeah.
CGI, and it just tanks.
The thing is, though, the power I think is Oprah too. You have
Yeah.
Oprah
Yeah.
behind this, and it's I've been hearing kind of what you've been hearing as well. But I do hear it's a big, bring your kids out to this
okay.
film, and I think that kid audience might stack those numbers up a bit.
Yeah.
To me, part of it it's hard because visually it's supposed to look good,
Right.
but even the commercials, it looks still too much like it's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know if it's the vibrance of the colors or what it is. It stands out to me in a way that it probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I know it's a fantasy, and we all read this in English class in like grade 11 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Grade 10. Cole's notes was key on that one. I can tell you that much. But
Everyone's
anyways,
just going to watch the movie nowadays.
I don't know. Like Black Panther is like, it's going to be chewing into, like, it's the same studio, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see this slowing down too much. We may end up with a $40 million weekend type thing.
Oh, geez, that's terrible.
Crazy.
But it's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, and this thing, so if you take those same 17 days as of this recording, Age of Ultron had $372 million.
Wow.
And The Last Jedi had 517. So The Last Jedi had, like last week when we talked, Black Panther was doing better in those 10 days. And now a week later, The Last Jedi is doing slightly better. So it's performing like a sequel Star Wars film, which is insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, speaking of insane, I read this article that Avengers Infinity War opening weekend projected right now, 2 months out, 215 million.
Yeah.
So only 15 million more than actually 13 million more than Black Panther.
I think the range 215 and 235 is what they're
Yeah,
saying.
and the legs on this they're saying will be a little bit less than Black Panther, and they're projecting it to finish at about 535. So unless no one goes to see Black Panther for the next little bit, they're projecting Infinity War to make less than Black Panther.
Yeah, it's weird though, because if you think about, I think Black Panther was projected way less than what it actually ended up making. Right?
Yeah,
so
Like it was like $60 million less in its opening weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which is a good opening weekend. They're
Oh
off by
yeah, like if
Yeah.
Black Panther made 60 million, we'd probably be like, yeah, like that's kind of what we all
decent,
expected.
yeah.
Yeah.
for Solo. But yeah, I don't know, man. This film is doing special things. It's got a chance. We're at $500 million 3 weeks in. Avengers, that's the last MCU film it has to overtake at $623 million.
Ooh, it's gonna be close.
$100 million. So it's gonna be tight. It needs a little run here, but we're gonna run into Wrinkle of Time, and then we're start to get closer and closer to Avengers Infinity War now, which has shifted its release date.
That's
So we're
right.
getting it a week early. There's a really great exchange on Twitter, actually, between Robert Downey Jr. and the Marvel Studios Twitter account, where he kind of says, can I see it early? And they say yes. And he says, can I bring some friends? And like, yeah, sure, bring Bozeman and Evans and all that. And he's like, how about the whole planet? So now we all get to see Avengers Infinity War on April 27th, 26th for that Thursday opening.
That's right.
So you had something to say, but
I feel like this should exonerate me from the bet.
No.
Because the whole intention.
Let's refresh the bet for those.
For those who are joining us that are new, the whole intention of the bet was that Infinity War and Solo would not be released so close together. So I said they would move Solo. Makes sense. Wrong film, right mens rea. I think I'm using that term right. Like, that's the right idea. I feel that's close enough.
No.
We need to have, like, a discussion
It wasn't I'm going to dress as, like, the Hulkbuster. If Infinity War doesn't move. I'm shocked that they moved it. I understand why.
Yeah.
But they've looked at Black Panther and said, oh, look what a film with running room can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let these people forget about this guy.
Yeah.
Get this movie out earlier.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And now the Deadpool shifted up. They want to have 3 weeks on their own.
Yeah.
And Deadpool moved in that May 18th ahead of Solo to get itself out of the way of Solo. Mm-hmm. And now Infinity War's moved back to give itself that breathing room again, which I think it's right. It gives it breathing room from Solo. It gives it breathing room from Deadpool as well.
Just gotta hurry up on that costume.
I'm making it at home.
Get the stitching.
Well, I feel like we need to throw this question out on Twitter. If the Commonwealth decide...
We're going to stop promising tweets and not tweeting them. Anyways, continue.
It's the Donald Trump method. Yeah. Promise and don't deliver. If the Commonwealth decide, to do it, then, I'll make my Chewbacca costume.
I can tell you with 100% certainty, no one is going to say, Sunjay, you're right. Please don't dress up like Chewbacca on opening night for
what if I bribe him?
I don't know what you're going to bribe him with.
Your movies.
It costs a few bucks to send things over to the UK, even down into Montreal and that to the TS guys.
I know. I got to think of a way to cheaply send stuff. Drug dealers do it all the time.
I guess. Yes. But as far as this table is voting, I say you still dress up because you said Solo had to move. But the context of the discussion also was they're not going to put those two films that close together, but also there's no way they're going to, and this is where I was standing, and I think you kind of agreed with that there's no way they're going to have time to release Solo on May 25th because they just finished filming it like 2 months ago.
Yeah. Didn't you say they're going to move it to December though?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you said it's going to move to December.
I don't know if I said that.
We have hours and hours of recording that we can go through. That you should go through. If you want to prove this, you need to go find it because I'm not going back.
I don't even remember what episode that was.
This is a while back.
But, yeah.
I may have written it down.
All right, well, just know, like, if you guys agree to me doing the Chewbacca costume, it's just going to get worse and worse. Like, it's just going to be like printed paper of my face, of Chewbacca's face. And no, I'm just kidding. No. I'm going to do a great costume.
Do it right.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you will. I know you will.
Oh, yeah. Just go in without a shirt on and walk on stilts.
There you go. And some of the other big news coming out of Infinity War, there was this poster release. Now, I'm fairly certain that it's not fan-made and it's actually from Marvel Studios. Troy questioned that and then got me thinking, did I do enough research into this to make sure it was not fan-made? But anyways, we're going to run with it a little bit. Now, it's a poster that has each of the individual gems on it: space, soul, power, time, reality, and mind. And within the gems themselves, it has a reflection of a character that's associated with that stone. The space, Captain America, that goes back to the first Avenger. Power, related directly to Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Time, Doctor Strange. Reality goes to Thor from Thor The Dark World. And the Mind Stone, which is currently, for now, in the mind or in the forehead of Vision. But the last stone that we have not seen, the Soul Stone, we talked a bit about last week from Brad's question about, is it supposed to be, or was it supposed to be in Wakanda? We had theorized before we're going to see it in Ragnarok in Heimdall, some fashion there, that Thanos was going to have to punch through Heimdall to get the Soul Stone out. He's someone that had spoken in the past about seeing the souls or watching the souls of billions of people. Kind of made sense. But on this individual poster in the Soul Stone reflection is Iron Man, which is interesting. At first when I saw it, I said, he's just the most famous character that doesn't have a stone associated. Maybe he gets it somehow and he's kind of the keeper of it. Mm-hmm. But then I started looking a bit deeper into things and kind of questioned about, is Tony Stark the Soul Stone? Like, is he a physical manifestation of it? If you look at the Thanos theory, the Tesseract, the spelling of Thanos, right? The Tesseract, we're missing the H. Mm-hmm. There's the Aether, the necklace, the orb, and the scepter, Loki's scepter. So that H, we speculate, is it Heimdall? Is it the heart of Wakanda, the heart-shaped herb? Or is it actually just heart? You look at Robert Downey Jr., he's the heart and soul of the MCU. He's there from the beginning. You look at some lines here from the films. Howard Stark says this in, I think, Iron Man 2. What is and always will be my greatest creation is you. So you take that in kind of the most generic terms. It's he physically made him by conceiving, right? And
Well, how did that happen?
we're not going to get into that. Sanjay, I'll show you some books. at
Okay.
some point. Maybe the internet's also good for that. Just type in to your browser.
You got the bots. You know it's going.
Yeah. See what it says about that. So, and then it also got me thinking a little bit here. You look into Avengers #1. You remember when Loki touches the scepter to his chest, to the arc reactor, and nothing happens?
That's right.
There's really no explanation for that. Why doesn't that affect him? Why can't he use the stone on Tony Stark? Now, I always kind of just assumed because he touched the arc reactor.
Yeah.
But why didn't Loki just go to the side? You know what I mean? Like, is there something there that because he has a soul stone or something that he can't be affected by it? And then if you look into the comic books, if you go to the Ultimate Comics, the Ultimates, there is a run there where Tony Stark has a brain tumor that turns out to be an Infinity Stone. And it takes on a physical manifestation of Anthony, he calls it. So he actually can talk to it and communicate. And the Reed Richards pulls it out of his head and it's an Infinity Stone. So there is precedence for Tony Stark having an Infinity Stone inside of him. And the only other thing that was pointed out that I did see is, you know, the scene in Infinity War when or the trailer where he's walking, he takes his glasses off. Not one of the Iron Man suits come around him, but at first he takes glasses off and you see Doctor Strange, Bruce Banner, and Wong behind him. Someone pointed out that they're all frozen and he's walking. So he seems to be, there's something going on where time has stopped and he's able to, again, move through the power of an Infinity Stone. So given all of that, do you think it's crazy that either Tony Stark or the arc reactor, maybe in the element that he created or something like that, do you think the Soul Stone itself is closely associated with Tony Stark? Or is it he has somehow come across it and he is the protector of it and that's all this poster is implying?
Yeah, no, I believe it. That makes sense. You laid out a pretty good argument for me, so I'm going to take it at face value. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'm digging it.
Is it too much for Tony Stark to be the Soul Stone?
It makes sense because, like, if he has an Infinity Stone, then he can go toe-to-toe with Thanos, right? Right now, he's just like a man in a tin suit, so...
Iron suit.
Yeah, see, I like it if he comes across the Soul Stone of some sort,
Yeah.
but if he actually has a Soul Stone in him, then I'm going to be, like, scratching my head because I feel like Iron Man and, like, Batman, pretty much any superhero, I like them to be the hero they are because of their origin story that we've been presented.
Yeah.
I don't want some kind of weird retcon thing going on.
Well, his thing is he's smart.
He's
Has
smart,
technology.
exactly, right? And he created the suit, he created the arc reactor, right? Like, that's what I like. So if he was to have this Soul Stone in him the whole time, then I'd kind of be like, that kind of takes away a bit from what the character really is all about. But if he comes across the Soul Stone of some sort and has been protecting it, then I'm down with that. If he found the Soul Stone and he's been tinkering with it, because that's what he does, and he now has to protect this thing against Thanos, then I'm on board with that. I just don't necessarily want it to be inside of him.
No, I'd have to agree with you. And, you know, presenting this argument and looking at the comic books and all that, you see that it could make sense.
Yes.
But I'm not totally on board with it always... Like, he'll have touched almost every single stone at this point, right? You know, he worked with the Mind Stone to create Ultron.
Yes.
Right.
You know, he worked with the Space Stone, the Tesseract, right? And it just seems like it's folding in on itself too much.
Convenient, right?
Yeah. So I like it's either it's bestowed upon him or he finds it, or at some point in the film he's projected some, like, I don't really know where you go with it, but I do like the idea that he's more of a guardian of it. If you take the Illuminati from the most recent iteration of that group, how they're protectors of each individual had a stone that they were the protectors of and they went and hid it wherever. I don't know. It makes Earth also a convenient crossroads for everything, right? Like the Time Stone is there, the Reality Stone was there, the Mind Stone's there, the Space Stone was there, the Soul Stone potentially is there, whether it's here or there. So the only stone that wasn't on Earth was the Power Stone.
Right.
Like, I guess the Reality Stone kind of wasn't, but it was hidden close to it anyways. But it seems that if the Earth's going to be this nexus, fine, like this crossroads of the universe in the MCU, and it very well could be. But I think the Soul Stone being actually Tony Stark, they have to really write this in properly if that's going to be the case.
To sell it, yeah.
Somehow retcon everything, because is it the arc reactor? Because he pulls the arc reactor out of him.
Exactly.
Right? At the end of Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
But he gets it back in Infinity War.
Yeah.
We can see it. So I don't know. Like, does he find it, shove it in thing, and then shove the arc reactor? I don't. So there's a lot of explaining to do. Again, we're in major speculation mode for a lot of this. And this is just coming from a poster. And some of it just might be, who's our next biggest seller that we don't have doing anything on this poster? Oh, Iron Man. Boom.
Yeah.
Soulstone.
That's why I feel like they kind of missed their mark with the Mandarin. Like, you could have totally wrapped up that kind of story with the Mandarin. Like, the rings could have all been a manifest off of the Soulstone.
Yeah.
Or the one main ring.
Exactly.
That was
right?
the Soulstone.
And then, boom, like, we would have had all the ground covered, right? So that's
Perfect.
awesome. They missed
Love
the mark
that.
off that. Yeah.
Maybe
that,
the actor will have it. That's why he's such a good actor, because he's got that soul stone with him.
Trevor?
Yeah, Trevor.
That's what it is in that toy, right?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the significance of Trevor is
It all
he
ties
is
together.
the Soulstone. No, I thought it was interesting. And, you know,
Yeah.
again, we're coming off a poster here, so we'll see. I like, to me, my favorite is either Heimdall or something in Wakanda.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I think Heimdall makes the most sense.
It does. Yeah.
And like there's a panel in one of the stories where Drax actually punches right through Thanos and grabs his heart. And I am envisioning where Thanos walks up to Heimdall from Ragnarok and just sticks his hand right at him and
Boom.
yanks at the Soul Stone. Like how is that for, you know, unfortunately we don't get Heimdall anymore, but
Yeah.
like just to show what Thanos is capable of, that he reaches
Yeah.
into a human or into a Asgardian
Yeah.
and yanks at a stone, and that's why we haven't got it. And then it lines up with everything.
Yes.
It just makes sense, and we don't need to have this whole big thing about the Soul Stone actually being Tony Stark. It can just be something as simple as a device to show how powerful and relentless Thanos is.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's oh man, this movie is getting ever so close, and it's going to be even closer because it's 27th now. So I'm super excited about that. But Disney didn't really stop there when they're releasing all this promo stuff for Infinity War. We're getting the figures and all that. They also announced 6 new release dates for Marvel, for MCU films.
All right.
So we've got now, they've moved something from, or to July 31st, 2020 from August 7th, 2020. And then they landed with 6 other release dates. So we're now getting something on May 7th, 2021, July 30th, 2021, November 5th, 2021. They seem to like May, July, and November. And then the following year, we're getting February 18th, 2022, May 6th, 2022, and July 29th, 2022.
Well,
So there's a lot of films there. And we know already coming in on May, first week of May, May 3rd, 2019, is Avengers 4. We got Spider-Man Homecoming, which is confirmed for the 5th of July, 2019. And then we've got the rest of these films coming out in May, July, and subsequent months in 2020 to 2021, 2022. So let's rattle some of these off. So we've got, you know, Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2 for sure.
yeah.
Probably an Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 or something.
Oh,
in
Yeah,
there.
finish the trilogy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Maybe a Thor 4. What else
Yeah.
do you think? That's
Well,
5.
I think Holland slipped, didn't he? Tom Holland said there's a Homecoming 3.
Yeah, there'll be a 3 definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spider-Man
okay.
Homecoming
Yeah.
3. So that's 6 films there, and we've got,
I think
given the release dates in 2020 that we haven't really filled out, so there's still quite a few there. There's a May, July, and November there as well.
I think Black Widow for sure. There's
Yeah,
been
would
a lot
you
of
think
whispers
so?
of
Heard
Black
rumblings
Widow.
of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And probably like an A-Force, like some kind of like all-female led kind of
Interesting.
Avengers kind of thing. Because
Oh.
was it Tessa Thompson, you know, confronted
Yeah.
Kevin Feige about that whole thing. I think they're really going to greenlight a film. They have the cast to do it with, especially once you get Captain Marvel
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the mix. So I'm pretty sure I'll put my money on an A-Force or something around that degree and
Interesting.
a Black Widow.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there'd be a new solo franchise in Black Widow. Do you think there's any other solo franchises that could be kicking around
That haven't like come out yet.
that haven't launched? Like, we're not probably gonna get a Hulk anytime soon or anything like that.
No.
I'm trying to think of other characters that haven't been introduced that are still in the comic
You
books.
think, like,
Looking at all the
X-Men?
toys around here right now.
Well, there's also you're looking
X-Men, Fantastic Four.
yeah, Fantastic Four, X-Men. So their potential for maybe like a 2022 type release date.
Yeah,
You're
that'd
also
be
looking
later.
at a new Avengers probably film as well.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, like in the new, not as in, but like new Avengers.
Like
from the comic
Avengers
book.
5.
Do you think we could get a new Cap though?
I don't
Whether
know.
it's Sam Wilson or Bucky?
That
Oh.
again feels like a a movie where you need two characters, whether it's Sam Wilson and Bucky. That would be really cool.
Right.
Like a team up movie. I don't know if you could have, not that those characters couldn't carry a movie, but I'm wondering if they can carry the Cap mantle as a solo film.
See, that's the biggest thing, because for me, it's like on paper, like in the MCU world, it would make sense if it went to Sam, because he's more clean cut. He has like the better resume.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to if you went to Winter Soldier, in my opinion, he's the cooler Cap, but he's like an assassin. Like the world knows that this guy is like a huge kind of villain.
Governments
so it
would try to take
to
him
give
down.
him the keys to the mantle.
Yeah,
right?
no.
So it's tough, right? In this world that they've established.
Yeah, it's going to be an ensemble. Like you look at Winter Soldier, which is Winter Soldier, Falcon, Cap, Black Widow.
Yeah.
So it's going to be something like that, maybe without Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And add in that element and bring Anthony Mackie.
And the Red Skull back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Iron Man, new Iron Man 4?
I don't know. Downey really feels like he's done.
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't know if he's done, but he seems to. I don't think we'll see a solo Iron Man Downey film.
If we do, will you dress up like Iron Man to go to it?
Sure.
Oh.
I wonder if they could bring in, what was the character's name? Speaking of Captain America, but Patriot. Was it Patriot?
Yeah.
Is that the character's name? He's like the younger Captain America when they had like was it New Avengers? No, what was
He
that?
just died in the
Avengers
comics.
Academy or whatever. What they're called, the Young
I
Avengers.
think Hydra Cap threw him out of a plane recently. No, that was
Oh,
Union
no, that's
Jack.
yeah.
Union Jack?
Yes.
Is it like Captain Britain?
No, it was Union Jack. It was like it was an American centric character. We won't get into it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, so there's a lot of potential there. I think you could pretty much fill this out, and like you said, Sunjay, with X-Men and Fantastic Four, potentially. So here's another thing that I have to bring up about these films. It kind of ties into this nicely. When they did announce the shift in the Infinity War movie, they said, "What a fantastic idea!"
Yeah.
In all caps, and I think it was an accident. But my whole thing was like, know your audience.
Yeah.
I think
you
it's
can't
on
use
purpose.
the word and capitalize fantastic. But like, the Fantastic Four aren't in this film.
No.
But why use that word? Like I don't like. I know it's
So we'll talk about it.
It's a good word, but
Yeah, because we do know either way the Fox verse will come back to Marvel, whether Universal buys the Fox rights or not, because either way those rights would have to revert back to Marvel if Fox doesn't own it, right?
Yeah.
So they could start making claims of doing a Fantastic Four movie.
seeding the idea.
Seeding the idea, exactly.
Well, Fox is saying it's business as usual. They've said they're making a Silver Surfer movie now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they'd have to continue doing so, because if Universal does buy the rights, then they still kind of would have to have
Yeah, they
things
just
in
can't
place.
stop.
Yeah.
I think that'll all come to a crashing halt once Disney gets a hold of it. But I don't know. It just popped back in my head when we're talking about Fantastic Four here. That really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
As a word that was specifically chosen to incite some sort of discussion.
Oh,
which
for
it
sure.
has.
Well, even going off of the Affinity stuff, like I'm sure we must get like a Nova. There must be some other cosmic movie we'll get, whether it's like the old school Guardians or the Nova.
Nova is like, see, I think even go to a degree. We're always going to go back to this Mark's theory about how to bring Fantastic Four in.
Love that.
But I like the Fantastic Four being an element either whether they're traveling through the multiverse or they're traveling through the cosmos, and not have it maybe such Earth-based characters like we've had in the past iterations of the films, and do something different, because they're so associated or so much associated with the cosmic universe. If you go back to the original Fantastic Four runs, like Hickman stuff and all that, it's all very cosmic based, and that's a bit more what I want, and that's something you could do a little different.
Yeah.
That may bring people back to the theater to give kind of the Fantastic Four a bit of a bump in the right direction. So let's do something completely different. Spending more time in the negative zone or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. They got to go that direction. But anyways, Infinity War, April 27th. It's happening. You're still wearing that costume on May 25th. So
If people agree.
I don't think anyone's going to have any issues.
I'm going to make up fake Twitter accounts and be like, I disagree. Sanjay should not wear that costume.
0 followers.
Munjay.
No creativity. Now, speaking about Solo, we briefly touched on this last week about some revelations as far as the timeline, where it sits in the Star Wars timeline. It's something that we've been discussing for what seems like 2 years, ever since they announced this film. Where is this exactly going to sit? How is it going to look when you put Aldrich Einreich next to Harrison Ford? Is it going to butt up right against A New Hope, similar fashion that Rogue One did? So we talked last week about Del Rey, the Del Rey timeline. So these are the biggest publisher of Star Wars novels I think, anywhere. And they have this really cool interactive timeline you go through. You can click, it moves and all this. And what this did is it dropped in the Solo novelization, also the book The Last Shot. And so what some of the speculation was, this movie's going to take place quite a bit before the events of A New Hope. Because if you look at where it sits relative to Thrawn and Tarkin, that puts it at 14 to 11 BBY. And Lords of the Sith happens 14 BBY. So about 14 years before the events of A New Hope. So when I look at this, you're thinking, okay, that puts Han Solo. If you look at Wikipedia, his age was about 29, or he's born 29 years before the Battle of Yavin. So if you look at that time frame, that puts him 15 to 18 at some point in the film. So when I'm looking at this, and I threw an article about this up on StarWarsCommonwealth.com, but when you look at this, I think what this is saying is that the prologue to this film likely happens in this time frame, somewhere between Lords of the Sith and Thrawn, so that 14 to 11 BBY, which would make Solo about 18. And then my guess is, because this timeline doesn't really reflect this, is that the film probably then jumps forward 6 or so years into the future and puts it more in this like 4 to 5 BBY. So he's, again, about 24, 25.
So we get like not the catalyst, but we get like the Rogue One sequence in a sense.
Yes, exactly.
The young Jyn or so, and then skips.
Then it jumps, because these books, you look at Thrawn even, it starts at 11 BBY and goes to 2 BBY. You look at Catalyst, again, it starts almost at the end of Revenge of the Sith and goes all the way up into Rogue One.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly represented on this time. This timeline seems to reflect the first kind of significant story within the book as far as timeline, and then it doesn't tell you where it jumps to. So my interpretation of this is that we do get that opening, even The Last Shot kind of reflects this, because it's 3 eras, 3 stories, and the first one happens right before Solo. So my guess is we're going to get that 18-year-old Solo, and then it probably will jump into something that's a bit more in line with Aldrich Einrich's age, that 24, 25-year-old Han Solo.
Yeah.
About 6 to 4 years before what we see in A New Hope.
Okay.
So that seems to make the most sense to me. You know, and like this may be as close as we really ever get to understanding where it sits in the timeline, because unless they drop something significant in the film, like his age, we're always going to be kind of speculating and guessing. Same way we kind of were for Rebels as well.
Yeah.
We roughly know where it is, but it's going back and not having, like, you look at Lost Stars, and they give you an exact date when Thane is born, and you can track that through the timeline.
Yeah.
You get things like the Battle of Endor and Hoth and all that's in there, so you can put timing on that book. This, I think it's purposely left a bit ambiguous.
Yeah.
But overall, that I just wanted to throw that out there because we did discuss it last week, and I had a bit more of a think about the timeline, and you guys know how important timelines are to me.
How's that X-Men timeline going?
Not great. Not great at all.
It's not needed anymore.
And quickly here on Star Wars as well, our dude John Williams, who unfortunately was shut out of an Oscar this past weekend, which really broke my heart, but he has said once he is done Episode 9 with J.J. Abrams, he is going to retire from Star Wars. So how does that make you feel, guys, that going into the future, post Episode 9, we may not have John Williams scoring a saga film? Now, someone else did Rogue One. Someone else is doing the big lifting on Solo. I think he is writing the theme for Solo, for Han Solo, but outside of that, someone else is scoring the whole film. So the standalone films aren't particularly John Williams, but the saga films, every single one is. Up to Episode 9, it sounds like. So how does it make you guys feel that we may not have John Williams, say, scoring Episode 10 if we do, in fact, get that someday?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Especially, you have the original cast. They're already gone now at that point.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And,
whoa, I haven't seen it yet.
I know he's also a big fan of Daisy Ridley, Rey's character, and she'll be done with the franchise, at least for the time being, until they decide to revisit that world in Episode 10, 11, 12. So I think it makes sense. This guy's put in his work from day one. And he's been great every single time. I don't think he's ever really snoozed through any movie that he's done, even outside of the Star Wars
he's
universe.
Awesome. He's the best of all.
He's the best.
Yeah, oh,
he's the best
absolutely.
composer.
Yeah.
So no, it makes sense. He's up there too, right? He needs to just lay back and chill out and enjoy the franchise and just watch it. Especially coming off of Rebels, I'm really liking the score this season. I always liked the score.
It's great.
So I'd love to see or hear that composer or the team of them come along and do the next couple of films, because especially the last couple episodes there of Rebels, man, music's nice.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like, as you said, he's the OG, he's the GOAT of composer. So, I mean, it's going to be big shoes to fill, whoever takes that mantle. I don't know whoever's ready. I know like 4 composers in Hollywood, and he was one of them, so.
Yeah, there's Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Junkie XL.
Junkie XL, sick name. I can't think of the 4th. I don't know. I'm sure it'll come to me.
I think the nice thing with Star Wars is any composer that follows on from John Williams is always going to have that repertoire of John Williams to pull from. We see a lot of this in Rebels as well.
Yeah.
We've seen it in Rogue One, where they do pull elements of his score from the other films and tie it into what they're doing. And that's some of the parts I love the most about Rebels is you've got a really great score there, and then it slowly and subtly ties in the bigger elements, the bigger themes from Star Wars. So it makes it feel, again, one step closer to Star Wars from a score perspective. So I think you're always going to see at least a piece of John Williams' score embedded within a Star Wars film. Now, whether it's directly from him or whether it's someone borrowing the elements that he has created and they're now iconic and are closely associated with Star Wars itself. Yeah. Like they can't get away from that. We're not going to have a radically different score in Episode 10 or anything else, because that's one of the biggest players and one of the biggest parts of Star Wars is the score. Like that's one of the most memorable things. And that's why I was a little gutted that he didn't get an Oscar for The Last Jedi. I really like that score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that
good,
one.
yeah.
So, we'll see. John Williams, like you said, he's GOAT. He's the best.
Yeah.
And he's old. He's still creating awesome stuff. So
yeah.
I hope he gets through into Episode 9. And if he wants to continue, I'll listen to that guy. Like I said when we talked about Grab's question, that what I have in my car is 2 John Williams CDs.
Yeah.
So, all right, before we get into a little bit of Oscar talk, let's talk some DC news. Now, last week, Sunjay's favorite part.
DC.
We kept you guys waiting for this one. Now, we talked last week about Cheetah being the main villain in Wonder Woman 2, and we speculated on it was Charlize Theron that was in the rumor mill for that, as well as Emma Stone. And it turns out now that Kristen Wiig seems to be the front runner. Now, the comedic actor Kristen Wiig, who I thoroughly like from Ghostbusters and SNL and all that, she is now being tapped to play Cheetah, and I'm really, really interested to hear your opinion, because when I look at this, I'm not seeing a villain here. I'm having a bit of a struggle, but we've been fooled before by actors that don't seem like they fit the roles, and they come out and perform just unreal. So what are your thoughts about Kristen Wiig as Cheetah?
Yeah, when we did this last week, she wasn't even on my radar, to be honest with you. When they announced it, I was kind of taken aback, and I was like, really, Kristen Wiig? I didn't even think of her. Great in Ghostbusters, great in SNL, mostly comedy roles, right?
Yeah, Bridesmaids.
Yeah, Bridesmaids. She was amazing. I think she wrote that too.
Yeah, she's known for being like super awkward.
Yeah. But Patty Jenkins, the director, actually personally wants Kristen Wiig in the role, which kind of surprised me. The thing is, you never really know until we see him in action. I mean, if you told me when Heath Ledger got cast as the Joker, I was like, what? That makes no sense. Like, this guy from 10 Things I Hate About You, he's not the Joker. Jack Nicholson's the Joker. Or when Ben Affleck got cast as Batman, no one thought it was a good idea. I don't know.
I did.
Thank you. I did as well. And he proved everyone wrong. He's a great Batman. Henry Cavill was Superman. So, you got to wait and see. A lot of times, us fans, we choose the obvious, the obvious ones. Who could play, say, Iron Man? Tom Cruise. Like that's an obvious one. It didn't come to fruition.
Who can play Professor X?
Yeah, exactly.
Patrick Stewart. That's the only people want to play.
And sometimes those things work out great, as you said, with Professor X and Jon Stewart. No, what's Jon Stewart? Patrick Stewart, yeah.
But it's like Hugh Jackman for Logan.
Exactly. Hugh Jackman, everyone, when he got cast as Wolverine, was like, this guy's in Broadway show tunes. Like,
he's too tall.
He's too tall. Yeah. We need Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
What?
So, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach. It's not someone, but I think Kristen Wiig is a terrific actress. I'm really excited that, this Wonder Woman 2 movie is going forward, it looks like, and it sounds like.
Well, it's definitely going forward.
Yeah, and I have faith in Patty Jenkins that she knows what she's doing. She cast, I think, Chris Pine. She fought hard for that No Man's Land scene, so I'm looking forward to it. I think, it's inspired casting, and I'm going to turn my faith over to Patty Jenkins because she cannot steer me wrong. How about you, Troy?
Yeah, shoot, man, it's kind of a bummer. I mean, I was really hoping for Charlize Theron. Yeah, I was really hoping for her, but it's crazy, right? Some of these comedian actors can really just blow you away in some of these dramatic roles, or even comedic directors. Look at the Russo brothers, what they did with Winter Soldier, right? Jim Carrey has been known to give us some really cool dramatic performances, and same with Adam Sandler even. So I mean, I'm totally game to see what she can do. I was just it's kind of a curveball, right? I just didn't see it coming, but it should be pretty cool. I'm sure Patty Jenkins has the most confidence in this actress. So
I think the hardest part about casting like this is seeing through the actress into the character.
Yeah.
In Jim Carrey, you look at him in The Riddler, it's hard to see through Jim Carrey into the character. And so you have to hope that they're able to embody that character so much that you're seeing the cheetah or whatever character she's going to play. Well, I don't know what the cheetah's actual name is and how the whole story evolves, but you have to see that character. Like Gal Gadot, you see Wonder Woman now, right?
Yeah.
And even Affleck and that, like you see that Downey. He's a very odd mixture of both and everything that. But you don't really see, to me, you don't see the actor anymore. You see the character they play. Even more so, you see the character in now the actor. So that's kind of what you need to do. You don't want to see Kristen Wiig, the comedic actress, and not Cheetah. So that's the hardest thing, that when they do casting like this, that isn't obvious, isn't something that you would expect to be, or even down a path where you figure, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. This is such a curveball. You're like, am I going to see anything but that? But I think the wait and see approach is what we need to go for. And it all depends about how they want to approach this villain. Because I don't think, or to me, at least in Wonder Woman, the weakest part was what turned out to be the main villain. And so hopefully with this, they really concentrate on producing something on the long lines of, I'm going to say this now, Killmonger. He's the best villain, probably one of the best villains we've seen in the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
And they need to concentrate the same way that they've done in the past with the Nolan verse. Let's concentrate on the villains to develop that and give a strong opposition to Wonder Woman. That's going to elevate the film.
I feel like this character, though, will have like a lot of makeup or CGI in order to get her, because she's like a cat humanoid creature.
Yeah.
So she'll turn into a CGI or a heavily makeup villain. So I don't think it'll be so much as a factor when she's playing Barbara Ann Minerva, the like archaeologist. Maybe she'll be like a little bit awkward, and Kristen Wiig can bring in some of those comedic bits to kind of like spruce up the movie, kind of.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a tough one. But we'll wait and see. Another character we got our first look at, actually, and this is something we kind of skipped over last week, but Shazam.
You gotta say Shazam.
So this is an interesting film because, again, I wasn't too familiar that it was a kid that turns into a grown man superhero, and you look at the costume here; it's very comic accurate.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got some set photos here from the back. We see the cape, the red with the big, huge... There's a front image of him now with the big, huge lightning bolts and all that. So very much that Alex Ross look in Shazam. Mm-hmm. And I got to know, what do you guys think of this thing? Like, is it what you thought it was going to be? Because to me, it feels very cartoonish. Is that the direction it's supposed to go?
I think this has to be like a joke for sure. Like, I don't think this is like real. Like, I mean, it's set photos, but I don't think this is like the official costume.
Like he's wearing a bodysuit.
Yeah, he's wearing it just looks funny and silly. Like, it can't be real. I know they always do a lot of like different effects, like in post, right, to make it look what it should. But this just looks kind of silly. Like, I just don't see it being the final product.
Yeah,
right?
You know those costumes you buy, and like, I'm gonna let you know a little secret here. My daughter and I like play dress up.
Yeah.
She's 3 years old. She dressed on Princess dress, and I got to put on a Batman costume. Yeah. It's one of those ones you pull up, like the full bodysuits one with the biceps.
With the muscles.
Yeah. That's what this looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kick it around.
No. Like, first appearance is like, you look at it, when you first saw the Henry Cavill Superman set pick, when he's like against the bank vault, you're like, wow, that's epic.
Yeah.
WB needs to get on that and release it, because a lot of times these costumes go through a lot in post. I have a feeling his lightning bolt will probably be like moving with electricity, and it won't
like
be static.
Comics.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's an
too
incomplete.
Red. Too yellow.
I mean, it could be. I mean, with DC, one thing is they do love to color saturate. Like, if you see Man of Steel, you see Batman v Superman, the color saturation's there. Wonder Woman, even Justice League, they went the complete opposite, and it was like all the colors. So this one, I don't know. I'm gonna take a wait and see approach. Set photos. WB released the official image. I don't know if they're waiting for WonderCon, but release the official image because it's an incomplete photo.
Get ahead of
And yeah, DC does not need help in negative publicity. So send it out the positive vibes and let's get everyone talking positively because I think this movie can be something special. I honestly think this could be like the breakout. Definitely not like Black Panther levels, but if it does, I think this absolutely has a shot at 300 mil. I think this is going to be a terrific film. I really like the director, Zachary Levi. I don't know too much of his work, but
man, Thor: The Dark World or Thor 1?
See, and you brought up a point, and this is exactly why when Sony released the Venom trailer, they did not release the symbiote suit.
Yeah.
It wasn't finished, and everyone's going to start clowning it. And so I don't know why WB went and showed us. I mean,
well, it's a fan photo.
It's a fan photo.
It's a fan photo.
Yeah.
Oh,
so what happened is like they're filming outside in Toronto right now, actually.
Okay.
Inside a mall. This is going to take place in Christmas time, so they have like some Christmas trees up. Some fans snapped a picture and posted it without them knowing and the director knowing.
Oh.
It's like it's like behind the scenes, so it's not nothing official or anything like that. So grain of salt, I agree. And the thing is, it kind of reminds me of our criticism of Cap's suit in Avengers.
Yeah.
It's just too comic book for this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it may come down to tone. It may fit the tone of the film if it's a bit more lighthearted.
I think it will be, yeah.
But just, again, it's a wait and see approach.
Yeah, wait and see.
So hopefully, got Aquaman coming up here. And let's get some good stuff for DC. I'm really pulling for them this year into 2019. So go DC, go.
The little engine that could.
Yes. All right, guys. I know, Troy, we got a bit of a time constraint here, but we got to talk a bit about Oscars 2018. Now, this is something that we usually focus on quite a bit, but this year it didn't grab us the same way it had in the past. You know, we had our films we were pulling for. I was sitting there hoping that Last Jedi was going to pull something, Guardians of the Galaxy maybe, and, long shot for Logan, but I was pulling for it because, that's one of our films, that's in our world. But things turned out rather predictable, I would say, as far as the Oscar season goes. You look at all the awards that they've done in the past, it was fairly consistent with Gary Oldman, Frances McDormand, The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. So a lot of familiar faces from other awards shows throughout this kind of 2-3 month season won the Oscars. But what are the standouts for you guys? Did you watch it? And second, what were the big standouts for you as far as winners or potential snubs?
Yeah, I definitely tuned in. It was a pretty decent show, seeing how this wasn't my favorite Oscar season of films. I'm glad Get Out got that one.
Yeah, Jordan Peele.
That's cool.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to those guys, man. That was great. And man, my all-time masterpiece, Blade Runner 2049. So glad it snatched that award for cinematography.
Yeah,
just totally well deserved.
Yeah,
that was cool. And Three Billboards. Honestly, I was going for Three Billboards for Best Picture.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Have you seen all the films?
I saw Three Billboards, Lady Bird, Shape of Water.
How's Lady Bird?
Phantom Thread. Lady Bird, I felt was overhyped. I think it was like seen at 100 at one point.
Yeah,
so I had high expectations when I saw this film. Started off kind of cool, but it felt very much like Edge of 17. But I thought Edge of 17 was the better film.
That was a great film, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
you got to go big. There's a bit of controversy around that saying it got snubbed. It didn't get anything.
Edge of 17.
No, Lady Bird.
Yeah, and I thought that was okay.
Yeah,
to be honest,
that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Is The Shape of Water that good?
I didn't think so, really. I thought it was cool, but again,
it was
overhyped.
Character, like Guillermo del Toro. What's the guy like his sidekick?
Swamp Thing. It looks like Swamp Thing a little.
Oh man, he needs to get on
Hellboy.
That. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
and Del Toro did those too.
Looks just like it.
Yeah,
looks just like it. It is a pretty cool movie. Visually, is all right, but I still thought Three Billboards was the better film.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna get Best Director, and then Three Billboards would get Best Film, but.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him get something. Like, you know, he's a great director. He's done some really good things. And, looking at a few things here, kind of in the effects category, you mentioned cinematography went to Blade Runner 2049, which is what you were pulling for, right? And Dunkirk seemed to clean up in the effects department. Film editing it won for sound mixing, sound editing. So it did a lot there. And even look into visual effects went to Blade Runner 2049, which I was a bit shocked at. Like you're competing against War for the Planet of the Apes, The Last Jedi, Kong Skull Island, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So, but I'm happy overall with kind of what took here. I was hoping again that John Williams is going to win for best score. But he didn't quite
got it again.
That was for The Shape of Water.
Yeah, which was crazy because I thought it was either going to be a toss-up between obviously Star Wars or Phantom Thread. Phantom Thread
Yeah.
was in that category, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phantom Thread, like, it was a really nice score, so I'm surprised that it went to Shape of Water, which it had one kind of cool song, but not enough to win the whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
award, I thought.
Yeah, and then original song went to Remember Me, Coco. I just
Coco.
watched that like 5 times this
Good
weekend
movie.
with my daughter.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
A little Vader moment.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, very much. It's actually a good film. Mine, we had it literally on repeat. My daughter, we'd finish it, and like she doesn't really pay attention to it. It's just kind of on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to watch it again, and then she'll watch like 10 minutes, and then be off playing with Barbies or whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, like it's kind of a weird year, and I'm always pulling for The Last Jedi and that, and
Yeah.
films that I attach to a bit more. I'd like to see them win, but overall, it's just kind of a thing. I like watching it because it's right now, especially politically in the U.S., you're waiting for someone to say something. Like Jimmy Kimmel had a few funny things, and there's this, the big movement that we're seeing in Hollywood too, about the Time's Up movement and all this. It was very prevalent there, and in which I'm happy about getting some good FaceTime, and Jordan Peele winning is a huge thing as well, and so they're diversifying. I think it's a step in the right direction with things. There still needs to be more. But overall, I think, the Oscars in itself, it's just kind of a fun thing to watch.
Yeah.
And, it's not super significant in our discussions here.
Yeah.
No.
But it is nice to see that we're getting recognition. Logan, I didn't expect it to win. But at the end of the day, it was nice to see a nomination there.
Pick a comic book movie from 2018 that you think has the best shot to be nominated and pick the category.
Black Panther costume design.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Black Panther's definitely got to be in there. I'm trying to think. It's probably not going to be in the big awards, but I'm trying to think that, that soundtrack is...
Ooh,
score's
yeah.
pretty good.
The score's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I did like that, but costume design probably.
That's
a good one.
Production design as well.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
Wakanda in itself is
Nice.
gorgeous, so
Yeah.
I could see that taking a nomination there. I don't know if it's going to win, but right now I'm trying to project what films are going to be in these
Oh,
categories.
it's so tough.
Yeah.
Black Panther,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm just thinking, like, if you look at Infinity War, like, they'll be nominated for a few things, but Black Panther probably has the best shot out of any film, including the ones we haven't seen, to be nominated for something.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Does Coogler get a nod?
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I don't know.
I'm going to go Aquaman because, of course, the only DC movie. Surprise, surprise. Oh, something just
Iron Man
dropped.
just fell.
Yeah.
He was so
was
shocked at my
devastated by that
Aquaman news. I'm going to go best special effects. If James Wan brings it and it's something underwater that we haven't really seen before, and if he really nails it, I could absolutely see that being nominated for best special effects.
Yeah, I guess the underwater, it could be like a Avatar type
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they really nail that. So, but overall, yeah, I think, it's, you look at the best picture here, it's something I'm probably going to get into and watch The Shape of Water, being that it has won.
Comes out
But-
next week on video.
But I always find that if they had released these things before the Oscars, I would have watched them. Now, outside of Dunkirk and Get Out, Get Out, it's funny because did you notice too with Get Out, they never played it like a horror.
Yeah.
Like it was played like a serious film.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In Best Picture, they never showed. The only reason I caught it is because I knew it's a horror, some weird
Suspenseful
suspense
kind of
film,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the way they showed like the clips and the actor, like everything about it, they never allude to it being anything but a serious film.
The Academy hates horror films. It's a big movement in the horror community, actually, that they wanted Jordan Peele to mention the word horror in his acceptance speech if he won, because like the Academy never represents horror films. In fact, the last horror film to even get nominated for Best Picture besides Get Out, I believe, was Silence of the Lambs, which won all the way back in 1990.
Wow.
So, I mean, horror is a terrific genre. They got to recognize that shit, man.
Yeah, there you go. I don't like it because it scares me. Nightmares, and yeah, I'm a giant wimp. But one of the last couple questions I'll ask you before we wrap this thing up, Gary Oldman, have you seen The Darkest Hour?
I saw the first 2 seconds and I passed out. Not because of the film. I was just extremely tired.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of historical, and like I'd love to see Winston Churchill during World War II and all that. So I'm actually quite excited to see this now that, especially that Oldman's got this nod here.
Like Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, he's almost unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In that, like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. The amount of people that have done like comic book movies were well represented. You saw like Gal Gadot was all over the place, Gary Oldman, Guillermo del Toro. All these people, it's taking over Hollywood.
Well, BB-8 and Luke Skywalker.
and
Kelly Marie
Tran
Tran.
That's
and
right.
Poe Dameron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
Oscar
go.
Isaac.
Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac, yeah.
Apocalypse himself was there.
Yeah, exactly. Oof, I forgot that one. No, it's cool to see representation. BB-8's rolling out on the stage. Yeah, I think they did that last year or the year before too. When The Force Awakens came out.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they had BB-8 on the BB-8.
Did you
on
see
stage.
Mark Hamill introduce himself to Gal Gadot? That
That's
was amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, don't do it. It's the Joker and Wonder Woman meeting.
That was funny. Oh, hi.
Yeah. She's like, I think I know who you are.
Yeah. Yes, you are. I wonder if Hamill ever gets tired of being referred to as Luke Skywalker or not Mark Hamill.
Actually, he said that he gets like just as many requests for the Joker as he does for Luke
Oh,
Skywalker.
does he?
I bet, man.
Yeah.
That voice.
Classic.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us tonight. It's been another busy weekend, nerd, and we're looking forward to going into the next few weeks because, you know, we're going to get some trailers here. We're going to talk a bit about some Netflix stuff. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones just got some announcements as far as when they're dropping. Jessica Jones on March this week, I think.
Wow.
Luke Cage, June 22nd.
Sweet Christmas.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff to talk about there. There's some exciting films coming up here. We're going to keep an eye on this Black Panther box office to see if it actually clicks up and overtakes Avengers. We're going to keep following Infinity War as well as Solo, which is staying in that May 25th position, which means that Sunjay will be wearing that Chewbacca costume. And he does promise, or we do promise to throw out a tweet to try to get Troy and I to wear a Lando and Han Solo attire to match the Chewbacca here. So we
Who's
will
gonna go
throw
as
that out. We discussed this last week. This is episode 109. If you guys would like to be a part of the show, very much like Grabs Granite, you can always email us at thenerdrm@gmail.com. You can hit us up on YouTube or Facebook. And as always, you can grab us on Twitter. Our handles are at the end of the episode. Make sure to hit up thenerdroom.net for all of our latest shows. Like I mentioned, Troy and I are going to be discussing the season, or series, I should say, finale of Rebels and talking about some of the elements that we had missed in the last few episodes, talking about, I'm not going to say anything, but just the big elements. We will hit on each and every one of them. Make sure to go check out Sunjay's film collecting over on our YouTube page. Just search the Nerd Room Podcast on YouTube, and be sure to hit up the StarWarsCommonwealth.com for all of the podcasts in the Commonwealth, including the newest member, Less Than 12 Parsecs podcast. And after that big mouthful, one take, it is time for us to say goodbye for now. So for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room.
This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyrim's Podcast, and San Diego Sabres. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.